So let me start from my perspective of the accident. I was driving my car, doing an estimate for my job I was working at, and I don't have any recollection of the accident. I just remember being all of a suddenly not in my body anymore. So what had happened was I was in a dark place, like completely black. And I was analyzing everything like I normally would analyze. My voice still sounded like my voice in my head. My thought processes were all the same. It's just I was in a place that I was confused about. It was, pitch black. I wasn't scared, but I was confused. And I heard voices, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. And then very clearly, out of the darkness, as I'm trying to analyze what was going on, I hear a voice. And the voice says to me, "Relax, this is bigger than you." And when I heard that, I did calm down. I felt at peace. Okay, I just don't know. It didn't cure my confusion. I was still very confused, but I felt more relaxed about where I was, and I felt patient. And then an undeterminate amount of time, because there was no time where I was. There was no body. I didn't have a body. I didn't have any awareness of a body, at least, and I didn't have any awareness of time. It was irrelevant. It didn't even make sense, time there. But so an indeterminate amount of time passed, and I hear the voice again, and the voice asked me, "Do you want to live or do you want to die?" At that moment, I never answered the voice. I was thinking about what I was just asked. And I started thinking about my wife and my son. And I have a daughter, but at the time I wasn't thinking of her when the question was asked. I'm just being honest. The question was asked, and I thought about my wife, saw her face. I thought about my son, I saw his face. And then I woke up. I was in the helicopter. I find out later I was in the helicopter. I woke up and I saw like a window, like a very small passenger, like the back window of a car, right? But like in the corner where it's really small. And I saw like a car lock that was like this big standing in the light, right? So it'd be like this, but down over here. And I couldn't see anything. I just saw the shadow of everything because the light was too bright. And come to find out, I had busted my eye socket and it broke all the way around, and they had to rebuild it up. So my eyes obviously weren't able to take in the light properly to focus in. So that's why it was all blurry. And then I slept back into unconsciousness, but it was a different type of unconsciousness. I was back in my body again. I wasn't in the darkness. I don't have recollection of this period of time either, but I do know that it was a different type of unconsciousness. I wasn't in the same place. So I was curious. I'm like, did I die? Did what happened to me, was that an outer body experience? And as a Christian, I'm like, no, it can't be, because I never experienced all the glitz and the glamour that you hear about as far as like death goes. And then I started looking up on YouTube, and I saw some videos about people, and this experience is kind of known as the void, where a lot of people go into this void space, this darkness, and it's completely dark, black, and they have many different types of experiences. Some of them are scared by it. Some of them are totally calm. It could go in many different directions. I kind of personally think that it depends on who you are or where you are in life with God and your faith. The kind of your mindset on a daily basis is the same when you went into the void. So how you normally would respond to something that extreme is how you would respond to something that extreme. You responded that way. So my first thought if something crazy like that is to happen, is I instantly go and ask God. I'm like, what's going on, Lord? So that's kind of what happened. You know, I was like, whoa, where am I? And I was trying to figure it out. It's interesting to me, though, because it opened up more questions than it did answer, right? Like, for instance, was the voices I heard the ambulance people trying to help me out? Was it just voices? Was I half dead and half alive? Did I experience parts of the afterlife and that's why I didn't see it all? These are some of the questions I had. Like, maybe I wasn't completely dead. There's no record of me dying, but this experience is unique in a way, because if I didn't die, then what ambulance person asked me if I wanted to live or die? What was the voice I heard?